Hi, I'm a soft skills trainer from the Department of Career Planning and Development, and today's topic is body language during an interview. Well, when you are going for an interview, you do a lot of pre preparation about the way you dress, about your resume, about the company, and everything. But during an interview, there are certain things that you need to take care of because the first 10 seconds are very crucial. The first 10 seconds are the seconds in which the interviewer assesses you and makes a mental judgment about what kind of a candidate you are, whether you are hireable or not. After you open your mouth and give answers, that's a pretty different thing because that is when you end up changing the perception. But however, if a perception is already made, then it's at times difficult to change for an interviewer. So let's discuss all the things and the aspects you need to take care of when you are sitting in a job interview, and how exactly are you supposed to position your body and have a positive body language. So let's get started. The first thing is sit all the way back in your seat. Now, if you are sitting at the edge of the seat that you need to sit on, the interviewer might think that you are nervous, and it shows. Think of yourself when you were a kid and you were nervous and there were guests in your house. How did you sit? You always sat on the edge of a seat because you were conscious about how you were looking, or how the person is going to be judging you. So in case you want to show that you are confident, you sit all the way back in the seat with your back rested against the backrest. However, don't lean into the seat. Make sure that your spine is straight but you're comfortable. You're not too stiff, but you're comfortable. In case you have a posture that is slouchy, make sure that you keep your spine erect at all times, because if you naturally go into that slouch state like I'm showing you here, then that actually again gives a very negative impression. The next point is don't go for a direct eye contact and stare at a person. Now, if you keep staring at a person, that makes the other person very uncomfortable. When I say don't make a direct eye contact, I mean look at the person when you're talking to that person, but make sure that you at times move your eyes around too to other panel members, or if there are no other panel members, make sure that your eyes shift from that person's eyes to the person's forehead to the person's lips. So make sure that your eyes actually focus on the other areas of the person's face as well. Don't continuously look at the person in the eye and continuously talk like that. If you do that, this is very unnerving and it is very disturbing. So make sure that you don't make a direct eye contact and continue staring at the person. Break the eye contact, blink a couple of times, look around also during talking so that it makes a very natural eye contact with the person and it doesn't seem like you are stressed or you are stressing the interviewer out. Next is use hand gestures when talking. Now, if I sit straight and continue talking to you without any hand gestures, versus if I talk to you and my hands are visible, and when I'm talking to you, if I have to say that I'm talking about a large scale of something or a small scale of something, or generally my hand is relaxed, that means that I am pretty relaxed in my body language and I'm not stiff. So make sure that you use your hand gestures because they emphasize on the voice quality. Because if you do not use your hand gestures, the entire stress is taken on by your voice, and in case you're nervous, it shows. You'll always notice that if you're nervous and if you start moving your hands a little, your voice tends to get a little relaxed because the tension of your voice is actually distributed in your other body parts, and your hand is stressing instead of your voice stressing. So in case you're making a point, your hand is stressing that point rather than your voice. The next one is show your palms. Now, I don't mean show your palms like this. I mean that make sure that whenever you talk, your actions are not like this. Your hands should not be in this motion or closed motion or in a fist of some sorts. Make sure that whenever you're talking, your palms are outwards, they are showing, because it's a very integral part of human psychology, and it's a very ancient human psychology. Handshake actually was derived from this. Handshake meant that you're actually showing your palm to the other person, showing that how open you are and how the other person can trust you. The moment you close your palm, that shows that, or that represents the fact that the other person can't trust you. So always make sure that you have open palms and you show your palms whenever you are talking to a person. The next one is plant your feet firmly on the ground. Well, if you have your feet firmly planted on the ground, one, it gives you confidence because it gives you a very stable ground under your feet, and you don't feel that everything is moving when you're nervous. And the other thing is, the person who's looking at you also feels that you're confident in your body language, because if you keep moving your feet, you're crossing your feet, or you are constantly moving your feet or shuffling your feet, that shows that you are very nervous and you're uncomfortable in the position that you're sitting in. So it's always good not to shuffle your feet or not to cross your legs. Instead, just plant your feet firmly on the ground so that it gives you confidence. Well, work on your stride. Well, that's one of the judgment factors that the interviewers have. Whenever you are walking into an interview room, in the first 10 to 15 seconds, depending upon the way you're walking, how purposeful your stride is, how confident your walk is, the interviewer bases his decision apart from watching your face. So make sure that your shoulders are pulled back, your neck is elongated, and every body part is walking towards the person that you're there to meet. So make sure that you are walking very confidently in the interview room, and as a matter of fact, when you exit the interview room, that also should be very confident, not apologetic. So make sure that the confidence shows in your walk. Breathe deeply and speak on an exhale. Now what this does is, it makes you feel calm and reduces your blood pressure in case you're nervous. So it is always advisable to take a few deep breaths before you actually go in for an interview. And every time you are speaking, make sure that you are evenly breathing. Because if you get too excited and you forget to breathe, then your voice quality raises to a different pitch and it shows the nervousness in your voice. So make sure that you have a very even outflow and inflow of oxygen, because that would actually help you calm your brain during an interview. To give you an example, that is one of the issues that I personally have. When I get too excited about something, I end up speaking at length, one sentence after the other, without actually breathing or swallowing. So what that does is, I'm able to speak for a long time, but at the end of a certain sentence, I really have to stop and take a long breath in. That actually makes me feel uncomfortable. So make sure that you have a habit of inhaling and exhaling at a very even pace, so that it makes you feel calm during an interview while you're talking. That also makes sure that you don't get that much nervous. Next point, nod your head when you are speaking. So in case you're listening to an interviewer and he's speaking, or he's trying to make you understand something, the nodding of your head actually tells the interviewer that you are engaged in the conversation, that you are actually understanding what he or she is saying. Just keeping your head straight and fixing your gaze at the interviewer would probably at times give an impression that you are not understanding what the person is saying, and it is not natural. So in case the interviewer is speaking to you, or trying to give you any kind of instructions or trying to explain something to you, make sure that you respond with appropriate head movements. The last point is lean in. When I say lean in, I mean lean in towards the conversation. Mirror the body language of the interviewer. Now, if he's talking to you and he's leaning in towards you, make sure that you also lean in. Don't draw back from the person. What this does is it basically shows the person that you are actually involved in the conversation and you're very focused in the interview and the conversation. So when you lean in, it gives a very positive image of the fact that you are very interested in the conversation that's currently happening. So these were the tips that I wanted to share with you about your body language during an interview. Thanks for watching. Bye now.